anything against coaches, okay? But I do have something against coaches who tell women how to live their life. Giving advice, cookie cutter advice to these women. These women are using this advice and they're shooting themselves in the foot because the advice doesn't apply to their situation. Hey loves, it's your girl Shishi and I'm back with another video. So on today's video, child, we are talking about how you all need to be aware of relationship coaches, okay? Now, before we get started, y'all already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button for your girl. And hit the notification bell so you'll never miss another upload from me. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Spirit woke me up and Spirit was like, you remember when Ciara and Russell talked about their first date and how they the first date was at her home and then they ate Fat Burger, which is a fast food restaurant in LA, and I was like, ooh, you know what, I think I do remember that. So I went to Google and I started doing a little research and I found several articles and I even found a video
and chat with you guys. I'm sure you guys have some questions out there. To Russ's point, 5 years ago to this date was the first day that we met.
It's true. So funny thing is, I was going to University of Wisconsin basketball game, and it was, I think, this Elite Eight. And
why am I getting emotional? I'm hormonal.
it was the Elite Eight game. I was going to see Wisconsin play, and we started talking, and sure enough, I was like, "What's up? Let's meet up. Let's link up." And
we were just talking for a long time. And sometimes when he was talking to me, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hearing him, but I wasn't. Like the words he was saying to me was like kind of going over my head a little bit because I was like, he's so beautiful. In our conversation, we were talking about a burger spot that we liked.
Well, funny thing is that it's 12:30. You can go ahead and tell the story. She was 12:30. We were hungry.
Well, in the conversation, we were talking about like Fat Burger and In-N-Out, and then
let's rewind a little
bit. Okay, cool.
Let's rewind a little bit because what really happened, let me tell y'all what really had happened was we were over there hanging out, chilling, and so sure enough, what happened was we were talking, just mesmerized by each other. I was on the car, we're heading out, we're like, Russ, you haven't eaten. I said, oh shoot, we forgot about that dinner. We completely stood these people up. I was like, oh. I said, well, what's there to eat? So I looked up on my phone. I said, where's the next place we could go? Sure enough, there was Fat Burger right around the corner. So I said, hey, pull in the Fat Burger. I texted her. I said, and this is where I knew. I texted her. I said, hey, you hungry? And then she said, no, I'm okay. First of all, I knew she was from Atlanta, Georgia. So I knew she was going to be hungry. Okay, so listen, I know you need a burger or something. So
I was trying to be, like,
yeah.
Keep it cute.
She was from Atlanta. I'm from the South too, so it was all good.
You gotta keep it cute.
I told her, I said, listen, I'm gonna get a cheeseburger. I'm gonna get a double cheeseburger with only ketchup. You want something? I'll get something for you. And she said, what? And then I said, she says to me, I want a double cheeseburger, only ketchup too. That's what That's what I normally get.
American
cheese. Double cheeseburger, cheeseburger.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I said, you're kidding me. That's the same thing I get every time.
See the video, right? Y'all see what they said, what the first date was, right? Okay, so then I decided to go ahead and make a post on Facebook, right? So I listen. When Spirit speaks, I listen, okay? I'm being obedient to Spirit. There's spiritual warfare that is happening. Some of y'all may not realize it, but it has a lot to do with relationships and destroying the relationships between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I have said this before. So when God speaks to me, I listen and I'm obedient, okay? And so Spirit definitely wanted me to bring this back up because a lot of the ladies who are in these groups or because they have several like relationship groups, level up groups, hypergamy groups, all those type of groups. And if you are in these groups like I was, you will see a lot of talk about celebrities. Like a lot of the women covet Ciara's relationship, Meghan Markle. A lot of them want to be like Lori Harvey Marjorie Harvey. They covet these celebrities, but a lot of these women who are in these groups, they're also giving the coaches or the admins of the group are always telling the women to not go on low effort dates or what they would consider cheap dates, because that just shows that you don't have any standards and you'll just let a guy just take you anywhere and be okay with it. And I thought about the Russell and Ciara and how their first date wasn't very elaborate. I was like, Spirit was like, show them this, right? So I made a post on Facebook, and the post reads, that covet Ciara and Russell's marriage. Did you know their first date was at her house where they talked for hours and ate fat burgers? Their second date was the zoo. I know a lot of you all would never, because your relationship coach or someone who is unhappily single themselves told you not to accept quote unquote cheap dates, no matter what, instead of using your own brain, right? So I posted this because it's true. It had nothing to do with the date itself and where Russell coming over to Ciara's home. It had nothing to do with that. The point of the post was to urge ladies to think for themselves, and when you meet a man, to let things happen organically and be your authentic self, instead of having the standards that you didn't even set for yourself. Someone else did, giving you this advice, when really you can be missing out on a really, really, really good man. Okay, because that's the whole point, right? That's the whole point of women joining level up groups. That's the whole point of them joining hypergamy groups, and all of that is because they are looking for a high value man, right? A high earning man. And so they tell you, well, in order to get this type of man, you can't go out on a cheap date, right? Comes to building an authentic relationship, okay, that is not based off of manipulation. You have to let things play out organically, okay? You have to be yourself, listen to yourself, and just go with the flow of things, right? Doesn't mean that you don't have high standards. It does not mean that. Y'all are shooting yourselves in the foot with this, okay? First of all, somebody else made this rule. You didn't. I just had to show that, okay, if you are coveting Russell and Ciara and Russell's relationship, did you know that they started off authentic relationship? Like their first time meeting, he came over to her house, they talked for hours, and then he got her something to eat from Fat Burger. It's really mind-blowing to me how so many women there were women who got what I was trying to say, okay? Again, it had nothing to do with the date itself, but the fact that Russell and Ciara was able to make a genuine connection, that it was authentic, okay? You say you want a good man, and you say you want a man that's going to be real, that's going to be this Prince Charming like Russell, but yet you're still playing these manipulation games, and you think that this is what you're going to attract. And like I said in my other videos, like attracts like, whether you believe it or not. So if you're about the manipulation in the games, this is what you're going to attract. If you are more authentic and true to yourself, then you will attract someone who is authentic and true to themselves, okay? So for some strange reason though, when I made this post, there were some women that came for me, child. They came for me. Now, I don't know about the comprehension here, just kind of the point just really flew over their head. I don't know if they were doing this on purpose or if they really just didn't get it. And if they really just didn't get it, that's very concerning to me. They were really going in on me, child. They were telling me that you should not encourage a woman to have a man over her house that she doesn't know. Child, first of all, I'm not telling women to do anything. That's the problem. You want somebody to tell you what to do all of the time. You want someone to spoon feed you. Like you're an infant. Like you don't have a mind of your own, okay? Like you might be a little special, okay? So somebody has to tell you what to do all of the time. The only thing that I was saying was that you will have a better chance if you just be yourself and be authentic. I'm not telling women what to do at all. I'm not telling women to lower their standards. I'm just telling you all, I'm just telling women to think for themselves, okay? Think for themselves, because there are probably women that are taking this advice right now that have had a good man in their presence, and because they were being so superficial, okay, about a date, the guy was like, oh no, she's not the one for me. And this could have been definitely a high value man, a provider man, that was like, no, like I can already tell she's playing games and she feels entitled to my money. I can already tell based off how she's acting over a first date. So on to the next. That's what men do. Like there is such a disconnect between what women think and what men think. And a lot of these women who call themselves coaches and that are giving this relationship advice, they don't even know, half of them don't even know what men want, what men think. And if you're on the market, if you're putting yourself on the market to get a man, you have to know what they think. I've heard these quote unquote self-proclaimed coaches tell women it doesn't matter what men think, don't listen to men. Well, who the hell are you gonna listen to? You? Someone who is single or is in an unhappy marriage herself? We're supposed to listen to you? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And so my whole point was to just be yourself, okay? To just be yourself and let things happen organically. I'm not saying to to invite a stranger to your home that you don't know. Like, that makes no sense at all. And that wasn't even the point. Like I said, it's very concerning to me that these women don't have basic comprehension skills. Like, that's the first thing, okay? Then they go on to tell me how this wasn't true, and they start to like post other articles where Russell and Ciara actually talked about their official date, which was a date at the Georgian Hotel and how beautiful it was. But like I said, that was their first official date at a restaurant. But their first date, she invited him over to her home, okay? It led up to that. I just don't understand what that had to do with anything that I was talking about anyway, okay? It just didn't. I was just using that example of sometimes you have to not just to let the rules go. Like, that's all I'm saying. And I also got some comments of some ladies saying, well, I'm not about to lower my standard. Oh, no, let me go back to what they were saying about the serial killer, okay? So apparently, and I didn't know this, if a man takes you to a 5-star restaurant, apparently he won't kill you if he's a serial killer. If he's a serial killer, apparently he won't kill you if he takes you out to a 5-star restaurant. But he will kill you if you invite him over your house. Okay, does that make any sense to you? Okay, if the man is a serial killer, he's gonna kill you regardless. Okay, he's gonna plot to kill you regardless to where you are. Okay, yeah. So all of this really, like I said, everything really goes back to the self-love here. If you have love for yourself, if you truly have unconditional love for yourself, you will be able to spot people who also have unconditional love for themselves, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to be authentic when it comes to dating and relationships. They're going to be their true selves. But when you're out here trying to play games, you have on this facade, you're listening to advice from other people, applying it to your situation even though it may not apply, then that shit it may go downhill for you. Okay, it may not work for you. So that's all I'm saying. Okay, you should be able to know, like, if you meet someone on Tinder, common sense should tell you not to bring him to your house. Shouldn't that go without saying? Shouldn't that go without saying? Again, these women, I don't know if the elevator is going all the way to the top. It's really giving 10 man, okay? It's really giving 10 man. Someone has to tell you what to do and how to date. And yeah, it's crazy, man. Now I see why the men are going out of the country. I mean, if this is the type of women that is left here, child, it's sad. Like, these women can't even think for themselves here, okay? They like, oh, so you telling black women to meet a man off Tinder and invite him to... I'm not saying to do any of that. I'm not saying to do any of that. I'm telling you that a date does... A date does not mean that the man is high value just because he takes you to a 5-star restaurant. That does not mean anything. You are supposed to be looking at the character of a person, okay? And especially if this is someone who you are meeting online, why would you want to go to a fine 5-star dining restaurant with someone who you don't even know? You may not even like them, and be stuck sitting across from them for about an hour and a half. Do what works for you. That's all I'm saying. It has nothing to do with lowering your standards whatsoever, okay? Your standards should be more than where a man takes you on a first date, okay? How about that? How about looking at the character of the man? What does he have going on, okay? Is he driven? What are his goals? Those are the type of things that you should be trying to find out on a first date. So most of the time, the first date should be more talking than anything. But y'all seem to think that these extravagant first dates is gonna tell you everything you need to know about a man. Honey, I've been to 5-star restaurants on date with some of the most egotistical, controlling men you've ever seen in your life. Trust me, that don't mean a damn thing. What is going on in the world? Like, for real, what is going on? It's like you go from one, it's like these women go from one extreme to the other. They go from having very low self-esteem, very low standards, accepting the bare minimum, to going straight over here to now I got all these high standards and I'm not accepting nothing less than that, and it's all about the money and it's all about the bag. Like, these men can't see through that. There's no there's no in between. There's no balance here of, okay, I love myself, I'm my authentic self, I'm gonna meet someone who is their authentic self, who I have chemistry with. Okay, it doesn't really matter about the first date. I'm just trying to get to know him, and then later on later on y'all have more dates and it can get more and more extravagant. It's like women want to rush these things, and a lot of men are and I'm gonna be honest, like a lot of these men are catching on to these games, and they not with it. They're like, I'm not spending $300-400 on a first date and I don't even know you. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. These men are getting smart. Some of them already were smart, okay, and they wasn't doing it. I've spoken with well-kept women, okay. They are well-kept. They are living their soft life here, okay, and they all have told me that when they first met the man that they are with, it started off very organically. The first dates were very simple, and then later on they started to go on these extravagant dates and things like that. But now they are well kept, living the soft life, and that's all I'm trying to get women to understand here, is that in order to manifest the things that you want, you have to let these things happen organically. And the way that you do it, you have to start with self, and you have to start with the self-love. Everybody seems like they want to skip that inner work part and just go straight on to like, oh, I want it now, give it to me, you got that bag, oh look, I ain't got time, where the bag at? Like these women are showing up on these dates like, where the bag at? Like, that's so ghetto.
The ghetto.
It's so unappealing, and I know like the men are gagging at this. Like, stop taking advice from these people who only want your money. There are people out here who are these self-proclaimed coaches and all of that, who swear that they can. First of all, a real coach, and let me be clear, I don't have anything against coaching or coaches. If you want to be a coach, that's good. You know, if you want to hire a coach because you need someone to hold you accountable, if you need someone to help guide you, then do that. I don't have anything against coaches, okay? But I do have something against coaches who tell women how to live their life. They are giving advice, this cookie cutter advice, to these women, and these women are using this advice and they're shooting themselves in the foot because the advice doesn't apply to their situation. And they're making them feel bad if they go against the grain, like they can't think for themselves or have a mind of their own. That's the issue that I have with these self-proclaimed coaches. A real coach is only going to guide you so that you can make the decisions for yourself. They're going to give you the tools. They're not going to tell you what to do with your life. And that's the difference, and that's what I don't appreciate. And so I'm just speaking about it. I'm speaking out. Get a mind of your own. Get a mind of your own, and let things happen organically. If you don't know the difference between a serial killer and a decent man, then you need to stop dating. You need to just hang it up, okay? Hang it up. Go sit down somewhere and get in touch with yourself, because you don't know the difference. You think that a man taking you to a 5-star dinner is going to keep him from being, that's going to automatically, by osmosis, turning him into Prince Charming just because he took you on a 5-star dinner date versus taking you to the zoo, or y'all going for a walk in the park to just talk, or going out for coffee. Okay, that him taking you to a 5-star restaurant automatically turns him into Prince Charming. Okay, wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting here. That's interesting. And the only reason, again, why I brought up a celebrity is because so many women covet celebrities. They want to be like celebrities instead of being like themselves. So that's why I use the celebrity. For those of you who out there, well, she's a celebrity and I'm just a regular person. Oh, now you're just a regular person. But before, you was all in these groups saying you're gonna get you a Russell Wilson, just like Ciara. Then you was just like Ciara. You thought you was on the same level as Ciara. But now that I put this out there, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just an average person. Y'all are weird. Get yourselves together. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, could care less. I could care less. But yeah, for those of y'all who get it, I appreciate y'all. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like my content so far. And I will see y'all on the next video. Bye, loves.